Black Angus Reviews. Thank you for joining. If you're new here to the channel, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And if you want to support the channel, check the links in the description. It's greatly appreciated. You never know when reporting on the woke SJW mob infecting entertainment will be demonetized. So, what are we talking about today? Well, I'm, as you can see, big Philly fan. So we're going to be talking about a guy I already kind of am predisposed to not like. But, you know, as a full football NFL fan, objectively, I like the dude as a player. It's someone to tip the hat to and respect. Unfortunately, I can't respect his opinions today. And I'll be giving you my commentary about this. So this comes from Sportsnaut, quote-unquote, the unfiltered sports juggernaut. That remains to be seen, but we'll see as reporting goes in the future regarding the NFL. I'll keep my eye on this website. Hopefully you will as well. Titled, Dallas Cowboys legend says he would have kneeled during the national anthem. Jesus Christ. Alright, so it says, as countless NFL players take part in protests during the national anthem this season, Dallas Cowboys legend Emmitt Smith believes he would be joining them in support by taking a knee. Smith, a three-time Super Bowl champion at the Cowboys, backed the players who are raising awareness for racial inequality and calling for social justice. Emmitt says he would have kneeled during the national anthem. When the Cowboys faced the LA Rams Week 1 on Sunday Night Football, defensive tackle Dontari Poe was the lone player to kneel during the anthem. If Smith was still in the NFL, he believes Poe wouldn't be alone. The NFL's all-time leading rusher and Hall of Famer is part of the league's NFL Votes campaign, an initiative to support voting and get more people involved in the election process for the Democratic plantation, I think is what you mean. During an interview with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, he revealed the actions he would have taken if the social justice movement occurred during his playing days. Yeah, I think I would do something just as much as I ran out there and defended that star when T.O. did what he did, Emmitt said via the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Why not? If I can defend the star, I definitely can defend the right for everybody to have equal justice. Coming into the season, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones worked with players to engage in discussion and find a way they could address systemic inequalities and racism in the United States. False narrative. While Jones has called for national reform, following recent incidents of police brutality, he also expressed concern for how fans would react to the Cowboys taking a knee. You don't say. You call yourselves America's team, and yet you pick the divisive, I would say, truly minority side of the argument. I would say a large minority, 30-40% of the country, have bought into this initiative, but it's definitely not the majority. It doesn't fit the brand the Cowboys are supposed to be, reflecting the nation, which is idiotic to say the least, but they got a big fan base, one of the biggest across the nation. Got a lot of people up here in Columbus, Ohio area, especially because of Ezekiel Elliott. So, and this is a swing state, last time a red state. I'm not going to say that the NFL is going to affect the election, but people see that, and there's a demographic up here, clearly, that who watches football, that aren't going to be happy about picking that side instead of just staying neutral, or picking their side, of course. So yeah, it's Jerry's not doing this well. So yeah, further on, Emmitt Smith says, Smith, who is very aware of everything going on in the country, doesn't credit his beliefs toward the killing of George Floyd or Breonna Taylor by police officers. Instead, it's based on his own experiences, including in Dallas. He says, if I can defend the star, I can take a stand for social justice. I have been a victim of it. It's not like I'm talking because something happened to George Floyd, Smith said. Something happened to me more than one time. A couple times it happened right here in Dallas. I'm talking from experience, not something I read in a book or saw on CNN. So that specific comment I can appreciate to some degree, but this is a man who is part of, NFL initiatives. He's behind the scenes. He's been a star player for a franchise. He's behind the scenes with, NFL critic programming, as well as being on that vote council or initiative or whatever. So he's probably at least close to having discussions with Goodell or, somewhere in that chain of command of the NFL. He's in an elevated position to be more educated on this stuff, and I think it's very irresponsible to go this way. But at least he's not saying things like LeBron. You know, I can definitely appreciate not mimicking LeWoke James, having a toned down softball kind of responses about this. But when he talks about, I can appreciate him not being buying in supposedly to the Breonna Taylor, to the George Floyd arguments, all that, and just using his own experience. But I would say, given the stature his name has in the NFL and history, it's kind of idiotic. This is one of my main arguments. If this country's so systemically racist, Emmitt Smith, why would there be a system for black men from the hood to get propelled to be millionaire leaders and key position players for teams in a country that's predominantly white, where your fans are predominantly white, throwing money at you for tickets, for cable contracts, driving to, you know, like me, I got to drive 2-3 hours to go to any NFL game in my area, be it Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Nashville, Indy. I'm in a good spot, but I got to drive a good way. I'm half white, so depending, you know, I'm going to vote for Trump, so I count as white, I guess, unfortunately. I'm going to spend money to go see the teams I want to see. You know, it doesn't make sense. This narrative is idiotic. White people in positions of power took the chance when it wasn't popular to facilitate black players. I think the Redskins were one of the first black like star athletes, actually. Of course, you got Jim Brown and stuff. There's players before Jackie Robinson who started making a name in the NFL with diversity, with the kind of civil rights initiative. So this was white-owned teams and stuff, white majority teams themselves that took a chance and succeeded. So like the NFL's got a history of social justice, if you will. This is idiotic. All right, let's finish up. Smith comments come amid a time when the NFL is changing its stance on protests during the national anthem. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell expressed support for the Black Lives Matter movement this offseason, and the league pledged $250 million to combat racial injustice. While many players and teams support peaceful demonstrations during the national anthem, the reaction from fans has been very different. Yeah, that's a key point. So, teams are barred from having more than 20,000 attendees. If you saw the Rams game, they had no fans in the audience, and they're piping in noise. It's very eerie and freaky. It's an element that you shouldn't be faking. With stadium revenue practically evaporating, the NFL is more dependent on revenue generated from advertising and television this season. So this is where the fans are speaking with their wallet. All right, the NFL kickoff game, of course, had the now infamous quote-unquote fans booing for the social justice little gesture. Sunday Night Football with the Cowboys, America's team, had a 16% drop from the prior year of viewership. It's notable to mention this because people are stuck inside now with, this quarantine, this pandemic era. People aren't doing anything. There's not a lot of excuses you got anymore if NFL fans aren't watching. Monday night doubleheader. They got a good turnout for programming, but it was, I think, 28%, something like that, loss in viewership from the previous year. And what's interesting, too, is we only got 2 years till the NFL renegotiates contracts with the major entities. I think NBC, Fox for sure, and ESPN. And they might be getting NFL viewership and coverage at a bargain bin price thanks to social justice. This getting woke does make you broke long term. I see it. I like the NFL being the juggernaut it is. But I mean, I guess it'll help with ticket prices in the future if they lose some coverage. So, whatever. Cowboys fans, NFL fans, let me know in the comments what you think about Emmitt Smith taking this position, especially with a position of power with his initiative, his voting initiative panel that he's on in the NFL. Does that make him suspect to be on this panel, that he's come out forthright with this rhetoric? Let me know. I will talk to you later.